haven't called it paddle. What an idiot. Let's change that. P-A-D-D-L-E. Right then, in these videos, I am going to set you a task to do. I'm not going to show you how to do something and then you just copy it. However, if it doesn't go quite right, there's a solution video after this one as well. But try and do it on your own. So what we're going to do is we're going to get, in this video, the paddle to follow the mouse. So wherever the mouse is, the paddle follows it along here. And you can only move sort of along the bottom here. Now, to do that, the best thing to do is actually have a chat about Cartesian coordinates, which you all know because you've studied in your maths lessons. Yeah, don't worry, I had no idea what Cartesian coordinates were as well. Just someone used this expression once and I was like, why would you overcomplicate things? Because you all do know what Cartesian coordinates are. And to show you, I'm going to go to the backdrops. I'm going to go and choose a backdrop, and the one I'm going to choose is right down the bottom, is the XY axis. Now, you can see I have a paddle. Now, let's just pop that out of the way for a moment. Let's have a look at this axis. On the horizontal, we have the x-axis, and on the vertical, we have the y-axis. And you can see that right in the middle there, x is 0 and y is 0. So if I would say paddle, go to x0, y0 when I start the game, it would appear in the game here. You'll notice on the x-axis, you can see that x goes all the way up to 240. So this point here is x240, y0. And the flip of that, on the other way round, that's x minus 240, y0. If we look at the y-axis, it goes all the way up to 180. And if we look on the y-axis, it goes all the way down to minus 180. So if I want my paddle to, say, be here at the start of the game, I would suggest that on the x-axis, it's in position 0. On the y-axis, I don't know, minus 160, maybe something like that. But to show you how you can do something, I want to show you how to move that paddle the wrong way, first of all. And it's quite simple. I'm going to go to this one that says events. And in here, we've got this one that says when space key is pressed. And I'm going to change that to when right arrow, there it is pressed. Well, when the right arrow is pressed, what I want to do is increase the x value, so it goes dun dun dun, of the paddle. So, we're on the paddle. Oh, I haven't called it paddle. What an idiot. Let's change that, P-A-D-D-L-E. Very important that whatever you name here is something sensible. Don't leave it as Sprite 1 like I was about to do. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, we're going to make it move. So, motion is moving, and I'm going to have this one here which says change x by 10. So now when I press the right arrow on my keyboard, watch the paddle. I'm doing the noise effect. There we go. It's going to the right. If I press the left arrow, doesn't do anything because there's no code to tell it to do anything. I could drag out the same two blocks and do it again. Or, here's a little sneaky one, I could right click and duplicate. I get two the same. Change that to left arrow and just in here, make that minus 10. Press enter and now check the paddle out over here. Moves left and right. Only goes left and right. Oh, I'm holding the key down now rather than pressing it all the time. So you could have a breakout game that does that. But that's not how the real Atari breakout game worked. Well, not the real one, the Google version of it. We want it to follow the mouse. So if I put the mouse here, the cursor is here. Sorry, if I put my mouse here, the paddle is here, not the cursor. The cursor is the mouse, of course. What an idiot. And so, yeah, it follows the mouse. This doesn't do that, so we're going to go drop, drop. I'm also, at this point, I think I'll get rid of this canvas here, or this backdrop. So on my backdrops here, I'm going to click on stage over here. I'm going to go to backdrops, and this one I'm going to wave goodbye to. So I've still got my black background and my blue paddle. To get back there, you're probably thinking, okay, from backdrops, go back to code. And you're thinking, Oh no, the code has gone because I dropped it. But we need to be back on the paddle here where the code has still gone because I dropped it. Never mind. That wasn't very well explained. But yeah, just make sure you've got the paddle selected when you're making your code. Otherwise this next bit isn't going to work. So what do you need to do? Well, I'm not going to show you, but I'm kind of going to give heavy hints. We want to say, when the game starts, make the paddle follow the cursor. Now, I've got a couple of problems here. One, I think that paddle is a bit on the big side. Two, I also want to make sure that it starts down here and doesn't start up here. So, I'm going to give you the opportunity. Now you know all about Cartesian coordinates, you can easily solve this problem. Easy peasy. Event. When the game starts, you're going to need, in looks, to set the size of the paddle. Now, I think my paddle should be about half the size, which means set the size to 50%. I'm not going to do it. You can see what it does. It will depend on how big you made your paddle. We also need to tell the paddle, go down the bottom here. So, in motion, we're going to say, go to. You're going to need that go to block. What would the X value be to put it in the middle? I'm not going to tell you. You should have been paying attention. What would the Y value be to put it down the bottom? I'm not going to tell you. You should have been paying attention. Or you can work it out. But here's the important one. We want to tell the paddle, go to, okay, paddle, set the X value at any moment in time so it matches the cursor or the mouse. So what we want to do is we want this block, set X to, and then we want to say to the paddle, or we need to sense the position of the cursor. And that's really easy to do, because in the sensing block, you have this thing, mouse X. So, again, I'm kind of telling you really, the thing is this. If I'll do this bit for you, set X to mouse X, that would in fact do that. Look, it's done it, but it doesn't follow it. And the reason for that is that you can't just do this once. You need to do it all the time. It's never going to stop. It's got to carry on forever. So those are the 5 blocks that you're going to need. And there is a correct order to put them in. Well, there's actually 2 correct orders to put them in. But what you need to make sure is that when you finish this task, you should have a paddle that appears down here. It's the right size. And when you move your cursor left and right, it will follow your cursor. That's your task. Make it happen. And if you can't get it right, watch the next video. I'll show you how to solve it.